Today I'm installing the RK Products Gauge Wheel Arm Pivot Kit on my white 8824 planter. So what we're doing is we're replacing the gauge wheel arm holders here. Pivot right here. There's bushings in there and a shaft, and you pick this up and you can, I don't know if I can get this on camera. There's a pretty good amount of play in that. And you don't want that because it'll allow the gauge wheel to get further away from the disc opener, and it allows mud to get in there or dirt, and it'll pack the wheels up, and you'll plug the row and you'll have a mess. This kit puts even pressure on that so the bushings will wear evenly, bushings and the pins themselves, and it uses a convex washer to put pressure on it, and it should last significantly longer. So I put it on a few rows last year. I was very happy with the results, so I'm going to put it on all the rows this year. Let's get to it. Start up, buzz the old ones off. Take all these spacers out of here. Chuck them in a bucket. Pull that bad boy off. I don't know if you can see it on here, but there's a seal here, and inside there are bushings on this side and on the other side. I don't think you can quite see in there. There you can see space in between. But anyway, they get wore, and the shaft gets wore over here. And it doesn't take long for that to wear and for it to be off. It's pretty frustrating. I did both sides at the same time because it's a lot easier. For me anyway. Once I get that off, I take a scraper and get the last spacer that's on there that I can't get with my fingers. Just scrape that down and clean it up. You don't have to get everything off there, but you do want to get everything off so you don't have a bunch of dirt and grease. You don't want any dirt and grease holding it up so it doesn't get seated against the shank correctly. Take a fancy rag. This one's actually pretty decent. You can feel right here with your finger the backside it's wore, and you can feel this groove that you can see. You can feel that. It allows for a lot of flex in there, and you don't want that. It's not what we're after. Double check to make sure this is centered. 5/8. 5/8. Here's everything you need to do this. You need the scraper. You need the wrench to remove that. It's 3/4 on this. You need an adjustable wrench. I got a 15-inch here. Screwdriver to help with the scraper a little bit. Then you need your kit. Here's the part number, PR 1280. Copperhead Ag. Here's everything that comes in a kit. Just roll it on out. I do one row at a time. Here's your bolts. You need to find your offset washers, your convex washers. If you look close, you see it's got a little convex to the right. It's hard to show it on camera. You can kind of see it when I hold it this way too. But anyway, put the dish part out. I always like to get them both set up right away. Count out my parts, make sure I got everything. Haven't missed a beat yet. Every single one of these has been just right. And there are 18 of these, and you need 9 on each side. 8, 9. I like that because I don't have to take my shoes off. Whoop, that's a big one. That's a big one. Whoa. Whoa. counted wrong. 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah. Counting's difficult. And how these will go on the planner is you get all these on here and 2 of these big washers. On the outside, you'll have some of these, and then the gauge wheel arm goes here, and these will go on the outside of that. And these are how you adjust how close the gauge wheel is to the disc opener. I'll show you. First thing I do is I take the washers, spacers technically, and I get them all spread out on the shaft. Because you're going to want a little bit of lubricant on these things when you put them together. That way they don't just rub on each other. You don't want them to bind up on each other. You want them to be able to adjust and rotate, because the arms go up and down, they pivot, and you want to have them be able to pivot freely. I have some super fancy stuff. I get this from the Maurer bolt guy, some thrust. I just give it a shot on both sides, making sure I get plenty on all these, and on the shank where it rotates. And they suggest that you leave about 5 washers on the inside. Well, I've been doing this for a little while. I seem to need less than that. So you take off about what you think you need. I'll leave 5 on there this time. Push that on there. You gotta wiggle it just a little bit. Slap that in there. Push it all the way on. And at this point, you can usually tell if you're even close or not. And this I can tell I've got too much space on the front of the disc opener. I can feel it with my finger. So I'm just going to pull that right back off. And you can use these spacers to know exactly how much you need to take off too, between the disc opener and the gauge wheel. This is far from my first one, so I kind of got a rough idea as to what I need. That on there, that on there. Pivot it up. I think that's gonna be close. We get the bolt, got the big washers on there. Screw those on. Get it halfway. Check it again. Just rubbing. That's what you want. Just some light pressure. I always like to do both sides at the same time. That way somehow it doesn't pull the shaft through, because that would be crazy talk. Oh. Grunt, groan. Seals, I have trouble with them staying in the gauge wheel arms. I'm sure they're just worn. They seem to always give me more bits than I think they should. That one, I think that one's gonna be just right. I think I guessed right to start with. Get this side. You can see where the notches go in those washers. This will make more sense here in a minute. But the big nut is not there to hold it on, it's to set tension. Oh, shit. I'm missing one. Forgot one. That's what happens when you talk too much. Not paying attention to your work. So now, the thing is, you want to tighten this up until it's tight. Now to do that, you get it too tight and this thing won't even move. So now it won't even move. Well, it still moves. There. That's tight. That moves a little bit. That's probably going to be about right, actually. Just rubbing on the disc opener turns with it. That's pretty good. But the point of that washer, or the big nut, is to set the tension on this, and then you want to hammer this all the way home so it's tight every time. So every time you put this on after this, it should be the set. So if you do happen to plug this, or you have need to change the disc opener because the bearing went out, you just unscrew this, take it off, leave the spacers on, keep them the same, and put it right back on. It should be exactly the same every time. Let's tighten up the other side and see what it does. Because a lot of times, what I was going to say is, see that one, I can't even move it, and it's not tight yet. And if you don't have the bolt tight that goes into the shaft, pivot shaft, it's just going to work itself loose. And we don't want that. So you got to take the pressure off of it. So you can tighten this up. Get that seated home. There, that's tight. And this is loose. So you just increase the pressure on this. Until it stays up and you can push it down pretty easily. And as you can see, it pivots against these. That's why I wanted to have a little bit of lubricant on there to start with. And now these have zero flex in and out. They're good and tight. Easy peasy Japanesey. If I'm doing that wrong, hope the Copperhead guys would reach out to me and let me know. So, but that's the whole point of that, is to keep the tension on there. You want to be able to tighten that all the way up so it doesn't come loose. So yeah, next I got to put the kit on for the closing wheels, because that's way too much slop. That's going to go away. If you found this helpful at all, go ahead and hit subscribe, if I could talk. You know, give it a like, all that good stuff. Leave a comment, you know, let me know what you think. I really like these on this white 8824, this 8000 series white planter. I'd recommend it. It seems to work good, well for me. So if you guys got any questions, drop a comment, let me know. And if you think I'm doing this wrong, let me know. I'd appreciate that, because I like to learn stuff too. We'll see ya.